All right, let's open up the financial playbook. If you're a pro athlete or a college star landing your first NIL deal, your success, well, it puts a target on your back. So let's dive into the plays that are going to help you secure your hard-earned money in this digital age.
First things first, we've got to understand the playing field. Look, the threat of financial fraud, it's not some maybe thing. It's real, and it's happening right now. These scammers are getting really, really good, and you specifically are in their sights.
So you can see just how this works. Let's talk about Nia. She's an incredible tennis player, and she just landed a massive NIL deal. I mean, she is on top of the world, traveling for a tournament, and her career is exploding. So she's riding this high, and then bam, a message pops up. It looks totally legit, like it's from her financial manager. It says, confirm your bank account for immediate payout. I mean, this is exactly the message she was expecting, right? But something in her gut just tells her to pause. So instead of just tapping reply, she makes a quick phone call to her manager. And that's when she learns the truth. It was a phishing scam. Just think about that. One simple text back, and thousands of dollars would have just vanished before she ever saw them.
You know, Nia's story really hits home on the motto for this whole explainer. And it's simple. Protect the brand, protect the bag. The two are totally connected. You really can't secure one without securing the other.
Okay, so how do you actually do that? It all starts with building what I like to call a financial fortress. And you don't need to be some tech genius to do it. You just need a few solid, non-negotiable habits as your first line of defense. All right, here are your 4 core defensive plays. Think of these as your fundamentals, your bread and butter. We're talking about enabling multi-factor authentication, using unique passwords for every single account, keeping a close eye on your accounts, and knowing when to use credit instead of debit. Every one of these is a critical layer of defense, and honestly, they're most powerful when you use them all together. So let's break that down a bit. Think about it like this. Your password, that's the first key to the lock on your front door. But let's be real. In today's world, one lock is just not going to cut it. And that's where this comes in. It's called multi-factor authentication, or MFA for short. All it does is add a second key. It's that simple. So even if a crook manages to steal your password, your first key, they're still stuck. They can't get in without that second key that gets sent right to your phone. It is, without a doubt, the single best thing you can do to lock down your accounts. Okay, now let's talk about credit versus debit, because the difference here is huge. See, when you swipe a credit card, you're basically using the bank's money for a short time. If there's fraud, you report it, and it's their problem to solve. But a debit card, that's a direct pipeline straight into your bank account to your cash. And once that money's gone, trust me, getting it back is a whole different ballgame. All right, so your fortress is getting built. Now it's time to scout the other team. A strong defense means you got to know who you're up against and what plays they're going to run. And these are the exact plays scammers use against athletes time and time again. You've got the phishing DMs and emails, just like Nia got. You've got these fake investment pitches promising some exclusive deal. Those urgent requests for payment info. And, of course, people impersonating you or someone on your team online. Just being able to spot these patterns is half the battle. Okay, I want to zoom in on one particularly nasty scam. It's called Business Email Compromise, or BEC. Here's how it works. A scammer gets into the email of someone you absolutely trust, like your agent. They just sit there, they wait for a real money transfer to happen, and then they pounce. They send a quick email from that account saying something like, hey, quick update, use this new bank account number. And just like that, the money goes straight to them. So what's the defense? It's actually super simple, but it is the single most important thing you can do to stop this. Anytime, and I mean anytime, you get a request to change payment info, you have to verify it. Not with another email. You have to pick up the phone or do a video call with a number you already know is real. Never, ever trust an email alone for this. Period. And that brings us right to the big one, NIL deals. I mean, these deals are a game changer, but they also open up a whole new playbook for scammers. So protecting this income, it needs its own dedicated strategy. When it comes to protecting your NIL money, there are 3 key things you have to be doing. First, you gotta constantly be on the lookout for fake social media accounts using your name and your brand. Second, you have to carefully vet every single person who touches your money. And third, you should be using professional identity monitoring tools. Think of these as your own personal security team working 24/7 in the background. Here's a good way to think about it. Your NIL deals are some of the most valuable things you own, right?
So treat them like they're locked away in a high-security vault. Access is rare, it's documented, and it is super tightly controlled. So we've talked about building your fortress, we've gone over the opponent's playbook, now let's bring it all home. The real goal here is to get past just having a few defenses and turn security into a daily discipline, a routine. And that really brings us to the core takeaway of all this. Look, financial security isn't about luck. It doesn't just happen. It's a disciplined, consistent routine, just like the training you put in and day out to be at the top of your game. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. You've got a world-class routine for your training, right? To protect your body, to improve your performance. My question is your financial routine just as strong? Because at the end of the day, you absolutely need both to truly win.